Dr. Eleanor Carter had always believed in logic, in science. As a psychiatrist at one of London's most prestigious mental health institutions, she had built a career on understanding the human mind. Yet, no amount of training had prepared her for Daniel Hayes. She still remembered the last session they had together, the way he leaned forward with an unsettling smile. "Remember me when you hear the silence." And then, just like that, he was gone, vanished. No records, no witnesses, no explanation. The police had searched for months, but there was nothing. It was as if he had never existed at all. At first, Eleanor tried to move on. She told herself that some people simply disappeared, that it wasn't her fault. But then, the strange things started happening. It began with small things. Late at night, when the hospital halls were empty, she would hear the faint sound of footsteps outside her office door. Security cameras captured something worse, a shadow lingering outside, unmoving for hours. Daniel's patient file kept reopening on her computer. Sometimes the notes changed. Sentences she didn't remember writing would appear. "Did you forget me?" She barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his face, the sharpness of his stare, that knowing smirk. One night, as she got into her car, she adjusted the rearview mirror and froze. Someone was sitting in the back seat. A breath caught in her throat. Her pulse thundered in her ears. Slowly, she turned around, but the seat was empty. She forced herself to breathe, telling herself it was exhaustion, stress, paranoia. But the next morning, when she arrived at the hospital, a single piece of paper was pinned to the entrance, a single sentence. "Remember me when you hear the silence." Panic clawed at her throat. She had to know the truth. She spent hours searching through old hospital records, looking for anything on Daniel Hayes, and then she found something that made her stomach drop. Daniel's mother had been a patient, not just at any facility, at the same institution where Eleanor's own mother had once been treated. The realization settled over her like ice. Their lives had been intertwined long before she had ever met him. But something didn't make sense. If their histories were so connected, why had she never come across his name before? With shaking hands, she checked the hospital's admission records. Her breath caught in her throat. There was no record of Daniel Hayes, not in any file, not in any patient history. It was as if he had never been there at all. The weight of the truth hit her like a crashing wave. Daniel Hayes had never existed. She had created him. A fabrication of her own mind, a manifestation of something she had buried deep within herself. A knock at her office door made her jump. Detective Graham stood there, holding a thick folder. His expression was grim. "Dr. Carter," he said slowly, laying the file on her desk. "We need to talk. There is no Daniel Hayes. There never was. But these files, someone wrote them." With trembling fingers, she flipped open the folder, and there, in black ink, was the handwriting she had been trying to escape, her own. Silence filled the room, and for the first time, she truly heard it.